the remit of our Earth observation program today at ESA. It's really, as it was said, the biggest program in terms of satellites, in terms of space infrastructure available today, in terms of data volumes, which can support challenges like the ones related to climate, environment, sustainability, and also resilience. So today you have 3 lines of missions. The one that we developed with EUMETSAT, by the way, next door neighbors here, which are the meteorological mission. We just launched 2 this summer, 2 new missions. We have science missions, those explorers. We have launched one last year with the German leadership, EarthCare, and we have just launched one on biomass that looks at the capacity of tropical forests to absorb CO2. So very important mission for our daily lives, which are in the context of a program called FutureO. Last but not least, our collaboration, very strong with the Commission. Over 27 years of working together. Already 11 satellites up and running, and 1D coming up tonight as next. You see the variety of those missions is due to the fact that each of those missions has different instruments on board, optical, altimetry, radar, like Sentinel-1D, the one of tonight, which serve user needs linked to policy implementation, monitoring the implementation of the common agriculture policy, look up the crops, helping to better manage deforestation, looking at ice melting, sea level rise. All these topics are really supported in terms of operational missions that grant continuity of data over a long period of time. And this puts Europe at the forefront, not just in terms of industrial expertise, we have here the industry colleagues representative, but also in terms of capacity to really meet needs which our daily citizens needs, and Europe at the forefront of that. Sentinel-1D, it's a C-band radar satellite. It has a radar instrument on board. This is developed by Airbus Germany, who is here with us today. The prime contractorship of the satellites is Thales Alenia Space in Italy. Over 60 companies at the industrial level have contributed to develop this satellite. And this is really a very strong European effort and collaboration also at the industrial level. A new feature is the automatic identification system on board. Was already on board Sentinel-1C, the last one launched in December. It helps to monitor, to track and do surveillance on maritime vessels. It helps also to look at illegal vessels. It helps to monitor migration fluxes. So a lot of support in terms of new capacity and information to what we need to do in Europe. It looks through clouds night and day. That's the capacity of radar. And this is very interesting to look at remote regions like Arctic or Antarctic. It's very relevant to look at areas where you have a lot of clouds, like the tropical forest. And it has a revisit periodicity which is going from 3 to 6 days. 6 days is actually the worst case scenario. It depends which orbit you're looking at. And then it has 3 different acquisition modes, an interferometric one, which is very interesting. It's passages of the satellites over the same area, which could give us interferometric movement of the terrain. They tell us about movement of the terrain that can help us to predict the earthquake. It tells us also about movements of the buildings. You can monitor a slick of a land strip in an airport to see if it moves. And a lot of application. If we go to the next slide, we see really some application and concrete example. Those are already success stories of the 3 Sentinel-1 which have flown from 2014, you heard. Then there was the Sentinel-1 that be launched in 16 and this 1C in December 24. As I said, oil slicks is very important. You see the flat petrol on the sea. We've worked with EMSA, the European Maritime Agency, to look at illegal oil slicks and also all the ships that actually put the tanks and water the tanks and clean those in the Mediterranean area. That's very important. You can see hurricane monitoring, so you help of monitoring hurricanes, very important these days of extreme weather event increase. You can also look at ground motion. This is an example of Turkey. And this is exactly the millimetric movements of the terrain which you can detect, not just a posteriori after an earthquake, but also is used, for example, this technique to look at the volcano areas in Naples, near Rome. You look at that and we monitor that permanently with the institutions. Of course, you can see deforestation, and that's very relevant in the tropical area. And this is an example over the Mato Grosso in Brazil. Christoph Kautz mentioned how all these data sets are supporting operational services. And iceberg monitoring is one which is also very operational, not just science that you do with these missions. You do a lot of relevant activities which have an economic impact. For example, ice monitoring we use for routing of the ships in the Arctic region, which has certainly very strong economic dimension. And with that, I have a last slide just to tell you. Joseph mentioned the ministerial coming up in Bremen. The ministerial is really the moment of truth where we will need to have all the 23 member states of ESA investing for the next 3-year period into our own programs. We have a strong, I would say, European effort on the domain of Earth observation. We also have a strong program called Futuro, which is really the preparatory program for all the activities we do in this domain, including Copernicus. So all what is done today with Sentinel-1 was also prepared through this program called Futuro. It's innovation, it's TRL, it's technology capabilities which are acquired by industry to get ready for operational mission like the Copernicus one. And with this, I'd like to close. Looking forward to the launch tonight. We're always a little stressed. I've seen many launches, but every time it's quite some topic moment after many years of work of many people, and we look forward tonight. Thank you.